nice to be able to share this recipe with you because, you know, I use the Hostess with the Mostest roast for big occasions and also special occasions. But this is the one I use for a very special occasion. Like when I'm just going to have one person over for dinner that I may want to impress. Or you could do it, let's say, for your very, very best friend. Because the fact maybe they need something really special. But this is the kind of meal that you have when, you know, you share a bottle of wine or your favorite tea or whatever that is, and you talk about old times and everybody laughs, and that's what this is about. Now, this is Seitan Bourguignon, and Seitan, I think we've used before, and that's a wheat gluten product. And we're going to actually brown the seitan separately, and you'll see how to do that really quickly. You could also do it if you need something that's gluten-free. You could also do it with meatball things that I'm going to show you how to make with the appetizer. You could do it with that. It's a little bit different. It's more just kind of like an Italian thing. But the reason that it's called Bourguignon is because it's a really rich red sauce. It really doesn't have anything to do with that cholesterol, fatty filled thing that you find in other recipes. So let's get started so that you can get ready for your crazy wild evening. Measuring cups. You may need more of a metal type of turner and something to kind of scrape depending on how fast the vegetables and also the seitan sear to the bottom of the pan. A really good knife, measuring spoons, a spatula. I use a small pan because I do the seitan separately, so it gets browned separately. And then this is a big pan for everything else, and everything goes in there. And make sure that it has a lid, a good tight fitting lid, because you want it to simmer for a little bit. Low sodium broth, seitan in its own juice. You can also use burgers. If you'd like to use burgers, you can, but I like seitan for this, and I add that juice because it's a nice juice. Dark red wine, mirin, which is a Japanese sweet wine. A little bit of Celtic salt, mushrooms, onion, carrots, liquid aminos or tamari, tomato paste, fresh parsley. I have some fresh sage. If you can use dried, that's fine. It just happens to be warm and I can get it. Garlic and thyme. Of course, we always start with an onion. And cut off the bottom, cut off the top. And I'll show you this in the video that I'm making called 101 Veggie Prep. Turn it on its side, slice, there you go. Now, we're just gonna slice this down. You can make this with pearl onions. That's really nice, but we didn't really have any good ones at the store. They were all kind of icky looking. So I just want you to know you can make this with a regular onion. Okay, so carrots, you take it, and what you're basically looking for is a flat side. So you're going to create one. You cut it down the center, there you go, and then we're just going to do this in sticks. So I'm going to cut it, I'm going to make long, and you see how much of that blade is in here? That's what makes it easier. You try to keep a lot of the blade in there, and you're just going to make long cuts like this, okay? And then I'm just going to take this and I'm going to slice it down the center. See how I'm going down the center? I'm going down the center, and then I'm just going to make it into sticks. And they're very thin sticks, just because I want to have a different type of shape going on. Okay, mushrooms. I have wiped off these mushrooms to make sure that there's no dirt on them. You know, there's no extraneous dirt. And I do that right before I use them. Again, I'm looking for a flat edge. I make a flat edge. I turn it, and now see my hand is over here, and I do the claw grip. I dig my nails in and I slice down. I take my time. When I get to this part, you can just slice that across. Turn your pans onto a medium to high heat. Ooh, baby, I already did that joke. And if you didn't see it, you didn't look at the appetizer. Now my pans are very hot, so I'm going to put in the thing that takes the longest to cook first, which are onions and the carrots. Also, I'm going to put the seitan in here. And I'm going to cut these pieces that are kind of 2-inch chunky, big chunky things. I find scissors are fast and easy for doing this. I don't know if you can see this. They're starting to get brown parts on them. See that? And so are these. The onions are getting a little brown. I want to let them rest for a minute on the heat so they begin to brown. Then I'm going to turn them around. It is pretty much done, and so are these. Alright, so I'm going to put them in here. I'm going to put in my mushrooms. I don't really care if my mushrooms are browned. If that is something that you like to do, then do it. And this is the seitan juice. Here is my 1 cup of broth. And here is my tamaris, or my liquid aminos. And here's a little bit of my salt. So now I'm going to mix this up and let this cook just for a few minutes with the lid on. So now you can see that this has been cooking and my mushrooms are getting a little done. My tomato paste. And that's what's going to make the gravy. And that's why you need that salt. The acid taste in the gravy will be a little too much. And that's why you need the broth. It's going to bring down that flavor of the tomato to something that's reasonable. And there's my parsley and my sage. Put in my teaspoon of thyme and my garlic, which I'm putting in my garlic press because it just puts it out there and it's really beautiful. Okay, here's the scoop on wine. If you wouldn't drink it, then you don't cook with it. It doesn't have to be the best wine you've ever had in your life, but if you're tasting it and going, ooh, I'll just cook with this, it's going to have an flavor on your food. Of mirin. Now I'm putting in my 2 bay leaves because they're kind of small, and I'm going to let this just simmer for about 20 minutes while I start getting the rest of my dinner together. I let this cook for about 20 minutes or so, and so I'm going to try it. But I don't get to do it over the potatoes, which is a drag, because I really love the flavor of that. Mmm. Oh man. Oh. Mmm. Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is good. Mmm. Oh, this is great. Make sure that you let it bubble a little bit so the alcohol gets off and you just really mix in that flavor. It's really good. I'm gonna lick the plate now, so.